Welcome to the Warbear Podcast.
Podcast.
Welcome to the Warbear Podcast. That last part was probably left in.
No. I took it out of the last one, too.
Yeah, the stumblings. I'm Jason.
I'm Tad.
And that's Tad.
It's just the two of us.
Yeah, we can
pot it if we try.
That's copyrighted. Stop it.
No.
Oh, the
I changed the word.
The video's been flagged.
It's not make, it's pod. We can pod it if we
can.
We can pod it if we can. Is it because like the melody, like the beat?
I think the melody bit's picked
That's
up.
what it is? It's not the actual lyrics.
No.
I didn't know you copyright melodies.
I think you guys have it's all automated, so there's like a system.
Well, it's a good thing I sing off key.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Because, you could, I think it's the same shit that's on your, phone. Where if you can't think of a song, you just go...
Are those on my phone? I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, it should be.
I know, there's an app you have for that.
Yeah. That's
it.
Yeah.
I don't have that app.
Well, that's the app. That's what the app does.
Normally, I just know the song.
Yeah.
So.
If you can't think of it, then it gives you a list. It's like, do you mean this song? And...
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's what's so handy about it.
No, I wanted Under Pressure, not Vanilla Ice. Why do you give me that option?
Yeah. That's how it works.
Anyway.
This week on the Warbear Podcast, we are going to be discussing a little show back in the early 2000s, was it?
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah. So it's been quite a few years.
I mean, it's
an old show. You might be familiar with it. It's called Firefly.
By Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Joss.
Yeah,
not shh. But
not shh. Yeah, but...
Yeah. He did a little thing called, the Avengers.
Yeah,
and that one...
wrote and directed that.
Yeah, and he did that thing, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Which is older than Firefly.
Yeah.
But a little bit more successful.
Yeah. You only had,
Angel.
Yeah, that one with, the vampire guy,
Yeah.
That
what other shows did he do?
Dollhouse.
He did Dollhouse.
He wrote a screenplay for Toy Story.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He did Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Yeah.
Also with Nathan Fillion, who was Captain Malcolm Reynolds.
It also had everybody's...
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, everybody seems to love that guy, but... Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although...
I'm not a big fan of his. I guess it must span back to my Doogie Howser days.
I never watched Doogie Howser.
Yeah,
my first introduction to Neil Patrick Harris was...
fucking theme song stuck in your fucking head. I don't even know if I watched that show that much, but the Doogie Howser theme song runs in my head quite often, and I don't know why, because I don't remember watching it that much.
Maybe you just always wanted to be a doctor.
I didn't.
A child doctor.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Anyway, Firefly.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to give Joss Whedon the credit of also writing or co-writing the wonderful movie of
Cabin in the Woods?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Jesus. I can't believe I was
going
to give him the credit and then I dropped the name in my brain.
I got your back, Jack.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, yeah, he did all that stuff. He also wrote and directed the little show Firefly. It's a great show. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
And its sequel, season 2, Serenity.
Yeah, which ended up becoming a movie.
Such a good movie.
I guess that's a good place to start. The botchel of Firefly. I remember when this show came out on TV. I remember seeing ads for it. And I said, wow, that looks pretty cool. I want to watch that show. And, I working stiff like we all are. Trying to make time. And this is early 2000s, so there wasn't the pre-recording devices that we have today.
There was no TiVo. There was no Hulu.
Well, I think it was being introduced, but it wasn't like
when you wanted to watch a show, you had to know when it was and make time to sit and watch. And
I want to say it was still early enough. If you had it, you could use a little thing called a VCR, which was a device used in the early 90s, late 80s, which would allow you to place a cartridge or a cassette tape into it, and you could hit record on. You could even time it,
and so it would start recording at that time.
Yes. This technology is completely dead, and all the younger viewers that we do not have
I have no idea what we were talking about.
No idea. And that's when you start feeling really old, when you start busting out the technology. Like, I remember one time I was talking to somebody, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember when I went and bought a PlayStation, and they're like, wow, how old are you? And I'm like, how old am I? How the fuck old are you? That's not that long ago, is it?
I remember being excited when I got my first Game Boy Color when they came out. And they're like, you mean the DS? I'm like, no. The looked like the big gray one, but smaller. And
it was slimmer,
Yeah, in color. Like, I had the clear purple one.
Fucking sucked up batteries like crazy.
Yeah. I bought the AC adapter for the wall.
You had to.
And that shitty squiggly light that you couldn't actually see anything on.
So, yeah. Which I didn't do back then. And Fox really bumbled. They should really blame themselves for having it get canceled.
Murdoch.
Because every time I went to go watch it, it was never on. And then it turns out they moved the time to another day. So then I go try watching on that day. It's not on. They moved it back to the other day. And I'm like, literally, I'm watching like the end credits of the show half the time. So, and then they canceled it. And then I just go, well, it must have sucked. Because why would it get canceled if it wasn't any good? So, many years pass. Everybody rants and raves how great it was, and it's a classic, a secret classic, a cult classic, I guess you could say, yeah. And I pick it up on DVD finally and go, I'm gonna check this shit out, because I think I watched the tail end of the movie first, and I go, holy shit, this movie was fucking awesome. And then I think someone said, oh, that's off that TV show Firefly, and I was like, oh. So I picked up just the entire season on DVD, found it, watched it, went, holy shit, this is great. Wanted to go buy the DVD immediately. I guess DVDs are even coming old-fashioned now.
Yeah, it's all about Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's like streaming.
Yeah.
But I like physical copies of things. So, went to go get the DVD of Serenity. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it for a couple of years. And I finally found it. And then I got it on Blu-ray, which that ended up being really easy.
And you had a PSP.
Then I introduced it. Yeah, I did. I treasure that fucking PSP UMD. Like, I think it's just super rare. Like, if all the PSP games I held onto in UMDs, that's the only one I feel like is going to be worth anything in the future, just because how good it is. I think you can even get the series on the UMD. Then I introduced Tad to it. I think that was your first introduction to it.
That was my first knowledge. Because you had asked me... When it came out, I was like 10, 11. So I was more concerned about like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon at the time. Right. So I didn't know...
You probably watched Star Wars.
Yeah, that was like around the Phantom Menace and stuff coming out.
Yeah. And I feel like if you like Star Wars, you're probably going to like Serenity. Because, I mean...
Well, Serenity came out in 2004? I think it was like 2004, 2005. I think it was when it got released.
Yeah.
Because it was a few years after Firefly got
and the Phantom Menace? Yeah.
The Phantom Menace came out like 99, 2000, 2001-ish.
But I feel like Serenity was just... I mean, if you're a fan of Star Wars and you're a director, you're going to try to make your version of Star Wars in some kind of way. Maybe not so blatantly as a ripoff as J.J. Abrams did, but you're going to try to make a version of Star Wars. And I think Firefly was kind of...
you can make comparisons to Han Solo and Rebels.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Does that make Jane Chewbacca?
No, it doesn't make him any... Because he was original with his characters, you know.
Yeah. And each one of those characters was so well done.
He wasn't just scene for scene trying to rip off another fucking movie.
Copy paste.
He just took elements, and made an original concept out of it, which is the way to go.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that was my whole point. Like, if you were that young and you probably like Star Wars, yeah.
So it was like my introduction to it was Serenity, which is the only reason I watched it was because Jason kept going on and on about Firefly and Serenity, and I had no idea what the hell he was talking about.
Do you feel like that? I mean, not to just cut you off, but I mean, do you feel like that once you watched it, you feel like you have to pass the gospel on to people who have it?
Oh yeah, you're like, have you heard about this? Like what? Oh,
and then you're just annoyed by somebody who's like, have you watched this? Have you watched this? And you're just like, shut the fuck up about this stupid show. And then you finally watch and you're like, oh my god,
I get it.
It's like, and then the next person you see, you're like, have you watched it? And then you turn into this fucking zombie.
It's the exact same thing that happened.
You can make parallels to Buffy with that kind of analogy.
Like we were working together, and like it at least once a week he would say something about it, and I was like, all right, I'll come over and we'll watch this freaking movie with you.
I let you borrow the series, didn't I?
After I watched Serenity.
No way. No.
Yeah.
No,
I did watch the series.
You watched it first. Yeah.
I
made you watch it first,
and then we watched Serenity.
And then you came over and watched, because I said I have it on Blu-ray.
Because I watched the series in 2 days.
Yeah, which is easy. It's not very long. Sadly.
Yeah, it's like roughly 12 hours worth of watching. But when I was I was up for 48 hours, and when I wasn't at work, I was watching Firefly.
I think that's a testament how good it is.
Because
you just once you start watching it, you're hooked. And it doesn't feel like it's going by that fast, but time is really going by as well.
Oh yeah. When I got through the first 6 episodes, I got off work at like 10:30, and I went home like, all right, let's see what happens. And then I got to like Janestown.
Yeah.
And the sun was coming up, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go to work. Oh no, I forgot to sleep. And I went to work for like 12 hours, and then I went home and like, all right, I'll just watch 1 or 2 episodes. And then the sun was coming back up, and I just finished the last one. I was like, no!
It will do that to you.
So I watched the entire series, and then I was like, that was really good. He's like, I got something even better for you.
And I'm gonna say that too, because a lot of people will watch it because they rerun it on TV every once in a while.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, because I get a lot of dumb questions because people know I watched it, and they're like 2 episodes in, and they're asking me like really weird questions, and I'm like, what? And I would suggest anybody just go buy it on DVD.
It's on Netflix too.
Yeah, so you can watch it in order, because it seems like TV will just randomly.
Well, that was part of the problem they had with it, like, because usually they move the times and stuff, and like with an interview with like Joss Whedon or whatever, they played the episodes out of order because they didn't like the Serenity being the open for it, which is like a 2-hour like episode,
which is a good opening.
Yeah, because it builds you up and you get established in the universe, you establish the characters, where they're going, and they started off with originally, which one was it? It was not Shindig. The one before that, where like they no, it was one before that one. I can't remember the name of the episode. I'm trying to remember it.
Okay.
But like,
what happened in it?
They had went down to talk to patients, I think it was. Where like Jane took out the sniper on the hilltop.
Oh, okay.
Remember that one? And like the Reapers were coming back down. I think it was like that was part 2 of Serenity.
Yeah.
I think that's where they started. They didn't do the first half, and they did the first half at like the very end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a flashback for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they started with that half.
I don't think you need to watch it in order. It doesn't really kind of flow in a narrative order.
It does, but it doesn't. Like it's one of those shows where like you watch it in order, you appreciate it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can pick and choose an episode, and it's gonna be freaking great to watch each episode.
But you will get dumb questions.
Yeah. Like.
And I would just say, if you're even slightly interested by the podcast, just watch it in order. It's not a waste of time. Yeah, and then I purposely did something mean to Tad.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know if we should spoil that. We don't want to spoil that. Should we spoil it? I guess we could put a timestamp on it.
Yeah. I don't know. What, next minute and a half, 2 minutes?
We'll say when we're done spoiling.
Yeah.
So, if you're interested in Firefly, definitely check it out. Then watch the movie afterwards. Spoilers from this point on. Stop watching. Or pick back up at the time.
Or just turn the volume off and I'll put something flashing up there.
Thumbs up with Tad picture.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I watched it, and Tad really liked the show, and I was like, yeah, come on my house and watch it on Blu-ray. It would be better. I have all this. I have surround sound. I have a nice TV. Blu-ray is really nice. And he watched it, and I don't know. You want to tell what happened?
We were watching Serenity, and
yeah,
by far my favorite character is Wash, the pilot.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
What's
his name?
I don't remember his name.
He played lots of parts. You probably see him in stuff.
He's in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, and
he did the voice for the robot.
Yeah.
In iRobot.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. He's never been like the main guy.
He's in a lot of stuff though.
Yeah. He's really funny. Alan something. I want to say something like Alan something. But anyway, he plays the character Wash, who's the pilot of Serenity.
He's married to
Zoe, which, as side note, as you're watching fucking Firefly, and you see all these actors, like it has like Adam Baldwin in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like all these people, and then like I didn't watch Firefly, but I'd watched a lot of stuff after that, where they all had their own little thing, like on TV, like the guy who plays Malcolm Reynolds. Has that show Castle, where they actually make a lot of Firefly references.
They do make a lot of Firefly.
Zoe was in Suits and a couple other TV shows and movies.
Yeah. Like, all the girls on that show were just smoking hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You fall in love with all of them.
River. River.
Summer.
Yeah.
What was, So I'm really bad with names. What was the lady who was a prostitute?
I think that's the only one I don't have written down.
God, she was beautiful.
She was.
Sadly
though, she was like out of all of the characters,
right?
She was my least favorite.
Really?
Really.
I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
Ever wanted to see her naked? Deadpool, where you go. Oh my god.
That she is. Oh my god. I just connected the dot. I did not realize that. How did I not realize that?
I don't know how you didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that. But yeah, she is. She's fine.
Yes.
She is fine.
Yeah. The girlfriend in Deadpool is who we're referring to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I forget her name in Deadpool too. God, I'm horrible about
Vanessa.
Yeah, it was Vanessa in Deadpool.
Yeah. I remember that one. But I've seen Deadpool.
The poor actress's name, I can't remember her name.
She's really good though. Like she's a good actress. I liked her character in Firefly.
We're making this spoiler thing like super long, so get to the
Sorry.
Get to the
We'll get back.
We'll get back.
So in Serenity, like they have this whole Reavers are like these madmen in space or whatever, and they come back down to this planet after being chased by these fucking Reavers, and there's a giant blockade of Alliance ships, right? So they're coming down, and like they come out of the clouds, and the Lion's like, all right, we got this shit, and then fucking
Leaf on the Wind.
Yeah. I actually have it written down. Right, I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar.
Yep.
Oh, so like, and that's his saying when he flies. He's like the best fucking pilot ever.
Yeah.
So they get past his blockade.
For a run for his money.
Yeah, he could do it in way less than 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
So like they get past this Alliance blockade. Their engines are fucking like shot down. So he's gliding this giant hunk of metal down.
Somehow.
Yeah, and he fucking lands it.
Perfectly.
Like, yeah, perfectly. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. And then
right when he's saying yeah.
Yeah, and then this fucking giant
spear?
Spear comes crashing through the cockpit and impales him like right away.
I mean, the size of the spear has got to be bigger than your chest.
Yeah, like it obliterated him. And it was one of those that was like, watch how I soar. Boom! And then he dies. Like,
yeah.
Like graphically.
Tad didn't know what to do with himself in that moment, and I'm laughing so hard.
He had a pause.
And he he gave me such a fucking evil, I'm gonna kill you motherfucker look.
Dude, I thought I was gonna cry.
And you're like, you knew. Because I was laughing so hard.
I could feel the tears in my eyes.
Why didn't you tell me? And I was like, and you're like that awkward, I can't tell you because you would have been mad if I told you.
You're gonna be mad either way. Just
yeah.
Oh, damn it. Just
rip the Band-Aid off or slowly peel it. Like, what did you want?
I think we sat there for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, because you just needed to recompose yourself. You're like, I don't even know if I want to finish this movie. Who else is gonna die?
Because Shepard had died earlier in the movie. Yeah.
That wasn't so dramatic, but it was sad.
Yeah, it was sad that he died, but
it was a slow death.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a sudden.
Yeah, and I get jump scared easily. This one made me jump sad. Like it jump sadded me.
That a thing. All right, spoiler off.
Spoiler, boom.
Something that was said within the spoiler. The chick who plays I guess you could say prostitute.
Yeah,
they called her a companion in the show,
which is far more
totally topless and Deadpool. Go check out Deadpool.
Yes.
Wow, it's very brief though.
Yeah,
but it's worth. It's like I told people, I was like, it's 2 seconds of like fantasy fulfilled. It's like, oh my god, is that her? What? Deadpool's the greatest movie ever. Oh, Ryan Reynolds' hands.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, not talking about spoiling stuff anymore. What was your notes? Because Tad took a bunch of notes.
I did take.
I didn't take any notes because I'm winging this shit. Like,
he did wing it because he remembers a lot of it. Like
yeah.
Like my favorite. Do you have a favorite quote from like out of any episode of Firefly?
I think I had a favorite scene, not so much. Okay, if I had a favorite quote, it would have been when he was naked on the rock after Mrs. Reynolds Part 2, and he said,
"Oh man,
what did he say there?"
I was just about to watch that tonight too. I think
he said something like figures or something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been probably my favorite quote.
He has Nathan Fillion is his name. He has got the best timing.
Yeah.
I think ever.
Comedic timing.
Yeah, like nothing against Ryan Reynolds. I think he was
Oh yeah. Nothing against Ryan Reynolds.
But Nathan Fillion is fucking Green Lantern.
Oh yeah.
Like
you go back to he did the voice for him on 2 movies.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Probably, I think there was even a petition to make him Green Lantern, and he was all for it. He's like, I'll do it.
He looks like Hal Jordan.
And
like,
they were they wanted a pretty young face.
And they wanted more name value. And he doesn't have a lot of name value.
I know, you know what? Honestly, Green Lantern probably would have been a much better movie with Nathan Fillion than Ryan Reynolds. And nothing against Ryan Reynolds there.
No, but Ryan Reynolds is not Hal Jordan.
No. I think Nathan Fillion would have brought something much. Yeah. If any, I mean, it was a shitty movie.
Yeah,
but you would have watched it.
Nathan Fillion's also a Green Lantern fan. So I don't think he would have been like, oh yeah, I'll just do this, whatever.
I don't know how much say so he would have had on the set of that movie, but I think you can, like, some people can carry a shitty movie.
And he's one of those people.
Yeah, he could have carried that one. Like,
yeah, and I think that's what really speaks volumes for Firefly is because all of the actors and actresses.
Oh, they brought their A game.
Oh, phenomenal! Like they play off each other so well. I was gonna say
Nathan Fillion was in a movie called I think it was Slither or Slugs. I think it was Slither.
Slither, I think. And
that movie just tanked. But the scenes with Nathan Fillion makes you want to watch that movie. Like, he has an end quote at the end. He's like, "Tell him how I fought the deer, saved you from the deer," or something like that. And he, it's not a great movie by any standards. It's like a comedy horror kind of. It's more of supposed to be a horror, but it kind of comes off more of a comedy horror. But he just carries that movie. He makes you want to watch it again and again and again. Yeah, and I think if he was Hal Jordan, he would. It would have been worth it just for that alone. Yeah. But studio, Hollywood, that's how that shit rolls.
Yeah.
But my favorite scene probably was when he
Like you said, he was naked on the rock.
No, it would have been my favorite quote because
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what he said, but just the timing was just like, oh, yep. I think that was it. Just like, yep. That was, and that's a weird one to pick, but that's the start of the episode, and you just laugh at the beginning of it, and you're just like, oh my god, where did I
gotta go from here?
How did this happen? How did you get a bit naked on a rock? My favorite scene would probably be when they were interrogating the guys. I think that was the first episode, and the guy wouldn't give him any information.
Oh, and he goes to Jay and he's like, you just have to scare him.
No, it was him. And he was like, the guy's like, I'll fucking hunt you down, I'll kill you. And he's like, ugh. And he just kicks him into the fucking engine of the ship. And he looks to the other guys.
Oh, yeah. It was like, now.
Yeah.
Just no, I got it. Okay, I remember. That's the end of the first one. All right.
Yeah, I thought it was beginning. It might have been then.
I thought you were talking about...
there was a similar
that wasn't
one.
the first episode. That was the one with the train heist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about like the first one when they had that like secret undercover cop on there, and like Simon's holding the gun on him, and he was like, "You're not gonna shoot me, you're not gonna do it," and like Mal walks in, and the dude's still yelling stuff. He just shoots him, and it's like,
I don't know.
Gotta go.
Another favorite quote of mine would have probably been when the guy was talking about his wife. And he goes, my wife's mighty ugly. Nathan Fillion pulls us.
That is during Our Mrs. Reynolds. It's the very first beginning of it. With him and Jane are sitting on there and it's like, give us all your goods and a night with your wife. Like, you wanted one night with my wife. She was mighty ugly.
She's mighty ugly. And then
well, that's no way to treat your wife. That was.
Well, you know what? Okay, I probably got my favorite quote. My favorite quote was, I'm going to the special kind of hell.
Yeah.
That's probably got to be it.
Also from our
Mrs. Reynolds.
The best Firefly episode, in my opinion. I'm just saying.
And again, very beautiful women on that show.
Oh, so pretty.
Mrs. Reynolds. Oh my god.
So pretty.
That redheaded chick was super hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Ooh. I don't know how that character resisted.
He had morals?
Okay.
No, he didn't have morals.
I think Shepard made him feel bad.
I think, like, it's not that he had morals. I think, like, he's a very kind-hearted guy, but he's been through so much shit.
Yeah.
Where he's just kind of like, I don't give a fuck, but I'm still too nice to be that big of an asshole.
What's your other notes?
Well, like,
I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Well, like, my favorite quote's from Shindig.
Yeah, okay.
You know when he has to have the duel with the guy at the very end, and he ends up defeating him.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "You gotta put him down, son." You know, like.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Mercy is the mark of a great man," and he stabs him. He's like, "All right, I'm just a good man." Stabs again. Oh well.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Like every time I watch that scene, I die.
You threw me off when you said duel. Because I'm thinking with guns. But they dueled with swords.
Because he's like, all right, they got a whole lot of pistols over there. No. With swords. With what now?
Yeah. Yeah. He got into a sword. He had to go to a sword fight in that show.
Yeah.
I guess we could say what the premise of the show is. But we just go on and on how great it is. What's it about?
Okay. What's it about? Sorry. I thought you were gonna go, and then you just kind of like paused.
Well, I was going to, but then it sounded like you were gonna say something.
Sorry. Wait, yeah.
The show is basically set in our future.
500 years in the future.
Yeah. We pretty much fucked the planet.
Yeah.
Completely fucked.
We Wall-E it.
Yeah. All the major countries band together. Two of the biggest ones being China and US. So there's a lot of Chinese dialogue in there.
It's shiny.
But it's not necessary,
It's shiny.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. It's a blend of English and Chinese.
They mostly speak English, and then like when they use obscenities.
Yeah, that's what they got away with on the show. Is obviously it was a network show. Can't say fuck like you can on YouTube without being censored. Words. So they said swear words in Chinese. Yeah, but those are the two major powers, and you'll see a lot of like kanji. I don't know what kanji is in Chinese. It's Chinese kanji. Kanji being the word for Japanese symbols. But so they left Earth and they had to colonize other planets. Some of the you get a lot of this in the movie, but again, you don't want to watch the movie till the very end. Save it for the treat. But a lot of planets
colonize.
Well, what's terraforming?
Yeah.
Yeah. They terraformed certain planets, and the terraforming took off really well. Other planets weren't so fortunate. Not that they weren't breathable, but they just weren't desirable.
They weren't as prosperous.
Yeah.
So, like, you had the central planets in the center, and then, like, the outer rim of the system was...
And it was mostly agriculture and cattling and stuff like that. And then, like, you can imagine, like, frontier life on Earth being very rough, and then you, like, live in a city where it's...
Everything just comes easy to you.
Yeah, easy and neat.
You have nothing for want.
Well, the major powers band together, and they decided to set some pretty strict and unfair rules
on all the planets.
On the planets, and the ones on the outer rims didn't feel like they should apply to those kind of rules.
You can make comparisons to like the U.S. Civil War.
You can. So there was a battle, and it's
There was a war, not a battle.
Well, yeah, there's a war, and you had the Browncoats versus the Alliance.
Yeah.
And the war is not really the focus of the show at all.
No. This takes place like 10 years afterwards.
Yeah. It's kind of like the background filler of, the history of the show. And the crew that we're following was mostly on the Browncoat side. The captain being...
The captain was lieutenant.
Yeah.
And then Zoe, his second command, was his second command. And
the rest of the crew kind of were just civilians in that war, basically.
Well, Jane was a mercenary.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that was after the war, though. Like,
I don't think Jane was actually in military.
No, he wasn't at all. Like, because he talks about it like he wasn't even involved in it.
No, he is. There is what episode is that one in?
Which is kind of weird, given Jane's obsession with weapons and stuff. You think he would have been in the war, but apparently he wasn't at all.
No.
He didn't want anything. I guess he just didn't feel like there was any money to be made.
Yeah.
So he just mercened his way through it. Probably being hired by either side to do various jobs, or he was just doing bank robberies and stuff Probably.
Thriving on the chaos.
That kind of like fills out the crew. And the Browncoats sadly lost the war. Badly.
The Battle of Serenity is what fucked him.
It kind of like on the captain's side, he doesn't feel like they should have lost the war because they were kind of winning.
Yeah.
But the leaders just were like, fuck this. And pussied out. And I'm thinking Not Ryan Reynolds.
Malcolm Reynolds.
Nathan Fillion said in interviews that Malcolm Reynolds, the character he played, was kind of over the fact that they lost. But everybody kind of assumed that he had a grudge, even though he...
It's because they kept bringing it up.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have a wound that heals over, but you have people keep picking at it.
Right.
It's gonna drive you insane a little bit.
So now they have to operate in this
outlands area.
Well, not so much that. They have to operate in a space that's now controlled by the people that he was fighting against. The Alliance.
They're still in the outer planet, so
yeah. And everybody's just trying to come to grips in this new world, and it's becoming very, very hard to scratch a living, especially if you're not totally on board with the Alliance like they were. So they become a cargo crew, a mercenary crew, basically wherever they can make a buck. Yeah. They're not bad guys, but they will be if you got enough money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they still have like a really good moral code where they won't just kill an orphanage.
Well, Jane probably would.
Well, maybe. I think Jane probably wouldn't kill an orphanage.
He might not kill an orphanage, but you want to like gun down a town. He might like.
Oh, Jane would totally gun down.
Oh yeah.
He would totally gun down a town, but he ain't aiming for kids or stuff like that. I guess that's the silver lining there. Yeah. Where you know that the Alliance probably would, if they needed to, they would fucking they'd kill a whole planet for the kids if they think they could. Actually, that kind of comes into play in the movie.
Spoiler.
Is that really a spoiler?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, you get the idea that they're kind of
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
I guess that's where you get your Star Wars parallel, because
that's Star Trek, not Star Wars.
No, I was gonna say Star Wars because the Alliance is kind of like an empire.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. It's kind of cleverly done, not to rip off, but be similar.
If it's a good idea, it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
So.
Sorry. I'm vaping because I'm a hipster.
Without a mustache.
Without a mustache. I don't think you need a mustache anymore.
I think you do.
No, not to be a hipster.
You don't have the attire to be a hipster.
Well, because I just got off work. This isn't my normal attire.
I've seen your normal attire.
Yeah, it's mostly black.
In Batman shirts. You're not a hipster. You just vape.
That's what they say hipsters do. Whatever. Where's that going? Oh, this show premise. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and you just follow their adventures.
Yeah.
Through it.
Their misadventures.
Ups and downs. The biggest...
a lot more downs than ups.
Yeah, the biggest plot is basically keeping Simon and River.
I think that's the real strength of the show, because you can easily say that they had a lot of downs, more than ups.
Oh, yeah.
But they had such a family dynamic that they just stuck together.
The small victories are really highlighted, whereas like a lot of the big crapshoots were like really outshined by the good moments they had together.
I want to say that the role that Summer playing River, it was supposed to be kind of a bigger thing than it was. I mean, you get the dynamic that they fucked with her and she's somehow genetically altered in some way, but you only get glimpses at time. And if the show would go on, I'm pretty sure they probably would have focused more on it, but
they didn't have time to bring
they didn't have time on it. And a lot of like relationships didn't have time to blossom, and they didn't even have time to do it in the movie, sadly. But you get the idea.
Yeah. Well, even like through the whole show, each character had its own growth, though.
Yes, it did. And I think it's proper for one season. I think if you're going to do a season, that's just about as much growth as you want to put.
Yeah. It was, for season 1,
right,
and the only season they had, it was as close to a perfect season as you can get.
The jokes you can make if you watch Firefly and you have friends who haven't watched it or listen to this podcast is watch season 1, and then your friend will watch season 1 and be like, that's great. And you're like, wait till you see season 2. They get all excited, and then they're going to get hooked right away, and then they're going to know that you just pulled a mean, cruel joke. Because now they're looking for season 2, and someone's like...
It's still not funny.
Yeah, it isn't. But it kind of is. This mad search for season 2. Where is it?
Because he did that to me.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, wait, you watched it? Yeah, I probably did. That sounds like something I would do.
Yeah. You're a dick.
A big dick, ladies.
He called it the bat symbol.
Yeah, because you can see it from the sky.
Careful, he's got poison ivy.
What the hell does that even have to do with Batman? That's a nemesis of his. It'd be like if I had like some kind of like sexually transmitted disease. I do not have any poison ivy.
He's just got cat herpes.
Mm.
He's got fleas.
What other notes do you have? Fuck.
Sorry.
Stop talking about my bad diseases.
Sorry. One of the things about the show that stood out to me was the theme song. Because like a lot of shows have a very generic, just here's a show.
Forgetful.
Yeah, like it's just kind of like it's like either synthesized or like.
Well, I think I can honestly say that I think all the good ones have something really catchy.
It's unique. Is what I'm getting at. Like you from the theme song, you kind of get the feel of what the show is going to be. Whereas, like, where there's a lot of shows where it's like, you just have a theme, and then it's just kind of like, it's just there. Whereas, like...
skip it?
Yeah, like, you don't need it. And for Firefly, sure, you don't need it, but it's... One, I like the song. Like, it's really catchy. And two, like, you kind of get the... You can take all this stuff from me, but I'm still going to be me.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do what I want. It's about being independent. And then when you watch the show...
I think that's also a credit to Josh.
Because he wrote it.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah. Joss.
He wrote it, like when he pitched the show, he actually sang the song to him.
Yeah, it's really a good song. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of shows. I think even like on the Dragon Ball Z DVD set, you could just set it to where it plays the intro once, and then it'll just play every episode without the intro.
Yeah, like you don't need the intro. For that. And for Firefly, you don't need the intro for Firefly.
I don't know.
It adds.
I was gonna say I'd never skip the intro.
No.
Ever, not once.
No, it adds so much to the show. And like a lot of shows can't say that. Like,
unfortunately, because of YouTube policies and blah blah blah, we can't play the intro more than a couple seconds. Go for it.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Basically, I'm just naming off things that catch me to the show.
Right.
Like the characters are very well done. You know, like
is there anything bad you can say about it? Because I really can't.
No. What's bad about it is we didn't get a season 2.
That's it.
Right.
Fuck you, Fox.
We didn't get a season 2, and we didn't get a follow up to Serenity. Like,
I mean, one of those like that doesn't really need
lack of content is my.
I think everybody's aware of Kickstarter nowadays.
Indiegogo.
GoFundMe. I think Kickstarter was the first one though.
Yes.
A funny story about Kickstarter is Kickstarter got started.
Yeah.
From Nathan Fillion trying to buy the rights back from 20th Century Fox so he can just finance Firefly himself and bring the show back. And they built a website page and they called it Kickstarter. The reason why we have Kickstarter and a lot of these other paid service stuff is because of Firefly.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that. That's where Kickstarter came from.
You want to do season 2.
Yeah.
They never raised the money for it, though.
No. Well, I think 20th Century Fox just told them we're not selling it.
Yeah.
Because they just realized... Because, unfortunately, they shined a light on how popular it was. And Fox is very, very tight-holding when it comes to...
very greedy.
Now, I want to say greedy. Yes, greedy. But they will hold on to a franchise and Fantastic Four it to death.
Oh, you just made me really sad.
Yeah. And they reluctantly will give up a franchise unless it'll make them money, like giving back Spider-Man with conditions that they make some fucking merchandising rights off of it. Which at this point Disney's like, what the fuck ever.
Well, like, the only reason why Serenity got made was because they had like this. It was called like the brown coats or whatever it is, like the little like.
Oh yeah.
And they had like a petition with like 500 to 1,000 people or something like signed it, and like they had constant emails and phone calls in like every day to Fox.
I think like, even
season 2.
Joss Whedon said that too. This doesn't normally happen where they can make a movie off a failed TV show just to wrap it up, and it was a dedication to the fans.
And then sadly, Serenity didn't make its money back.
Oh, it didn't. I think it did on DVD sales. By now, it's sure.
Oh, yeah, now. But, like, in theaters?
No, yeah, no. It tanked in theaters. And that's another tragic thing, because I remember when it was being in theaters, and I remember seeing trailers for it, and I go, well, that looks good, but unfortunately, it's just, like, I think timing was... I don't know when it came out against, but it had to be coming out against something where I was like, I don't have time to go watch this movie. And that happens a lot. Like, I'm going to say that happened with Pacific Rim. And unfortunately, watching that again on DVD, I was like, fuck, this movie's awesome. So I'm trying to make it a point to go and see, like, movies that look good that people say won't be good. And I think that's why I was very passionate about seeing Daredevil or Deadpool.
I thought Deadpool was going to be good when it...
Yeah, but it was just the fact that it was rated R and it was projected not to do well.
Yeah. Well, it came out in February.
Yeah, I know. But that fucking turned out against them.
Yeah.
Not only did it do good, I think it's like the highest grossing rated R movie of all time, on its way to being one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Like, it's up there.
I think it's like number 2 on highest grossing movie of rated R.
Yeah, but I don't know about just in general, because I keep hearing
they're saying it's getting close to surpassing Star Wars.
As it should.
Yeah.
Because that movie fucking sucked.
It should surpass Star Wars.
It should.
Anyway, back to Firefly.
Yes. What else do you have in notes?
Top 3 episodes. If you had to pick your top 3 out of not including the movie.
Not including the movie? That's not fair, because that's also an episode.
that is a completely different...
Is it?
I would consider it being different than Firefly.
How? I just want to hear your argument on this one.
My only argument is it's the movie Serenity. It's not called Firefly. Because I would almost count that, because it's a 2 hour and some odd running time, whereas each episode is roughly about 45
almost
minutes.
Season 2 condensed into a movie. Beautifully done.
Yeah.
But still just Season 2. You can kind of see where Season 2 probably would have panned out in that.
I'm just talking about the Firefly block of episode 1 to episode 12, 13, whatever it is. Like, your top 3 episodes.
Well, I like the episode where Wash and Reynolds got kidnapped.
Oh yeah, they're getting tortured and stuff.
Yes.
And then like they let Malcolm go, and
that was a good one.
That's actually like my 4th or 5th favorite episode, to be honest.
Is it?
With you. Mainly because like Wash is my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a fucking badass in that episode.
He was.
And then Zoe went all fucking like Rambo and was like, well, we're
Summer did too. Or River did too.
Yeah, we're getting this motherfucker back.
Yeah.
Like,
the last episode.
Oh yeah, Objects in Space or whatever.
Yeah.
Where River like fucks that dude up.
Yeah. And my third would have to be the second one with Mrs. Reynolds. The one where he's naked.
Oh, yeah, that one's really good, too.
Yeah. It really isn't a bad one.
No, there is no bad one.
And also, like, probably put that one where they had to do that train robbery, too.
That one's really good.
But I don't know which one that is. I think that might have been the last one. Or that one with the Mrs. Reynolds, too. I'm not sure.
The train robbery wasn't one with Mrs. Reynolds. The train robbery was, like, the 2nd or 3rd episode into it.
That was a good one.
It was the one right before Shindig.
It doesn't sound like mine or yours. What was yours?
Mine are Mrs. Reynolds.
That's
like, is like my favorite episode. I can watch that one over and over and over again. And then Shindig, mainly because I like the interaction between Kaylee and Mal. And I like the interaction between Mal and Inara. Is that her name?
Nara. Yeah.
Inara. Like, it really kind of like helped their characters together grow. Mm-hmm. And then the saber duel at the end.
Yeah. I like that one a lot, too.
Yeah. And then my last one's Out of Gas.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good one, too.
When it starts off, like, him, like, suffocating on the platform. That was
a good one.
My number 4 is, like, Janestown.
Yeah.
Janestown, yeah.
That was a good one. I don't like that one as much, weirdly.
Janestown?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe just the song I felt was, even though it was supposed to be kind of cheesy, it just kind of got really annoying after a while. I was like, okay, get it, Jane. So I don't know. It's not my. Like I said, I don't dislike any episode, but
I think I liked that one mainly because of how Adam Baldwin portrayed Jane in that one, where he's like, he does not want to be the hero.
No.
Like, at all. He is by far, like...
Even in the end, he ended up becoming the hero again.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to be the bad guy. Like he does not
He just wanted to fucking leave.
He doesn't want to be idolized. You know, he wants you to pay him, and he wants to fuck shit up. That's all he wants to do.
I mean, the one with the where they found the prisoner, or not the prisoner, but their friend from the war, that was a good one, too.
Oh, yeah. Where, like, he was... dead, quote unquote.
That's where Jane's hat famously comes from. Because I think it was only in that episode, but you'll always see that in cosplay.
Oh yeah, okay. I
only a true man would wear a hat like that or something like that.
Vera.
Yeah, Vera.
That was his gun.
That was his gun.
I think that one was also in Our Mrs. Reynolds, where he had to put him in the airlock.
You saw it again though, because when they did the airlock moment, they had to shoot the guy in space, and they put Vera in the spacesuit.
Yeah, that was in Our Mrs. Reynolds, because she was trying to steal the ship. And I was like, I think that was the conclusion of it.
Oh yeah, I want to say you saw it again though. Was it at?
Because that was after. Cause in Our Mrs. Reynolds is also the one where Mal kisses her.
Yeah.
And gets the poison on him and passes out, and then Anara. Oh, I want to say it's her name. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. She comes in and she tries to give Malcolm mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, you idiot!" and then passes out.
And then he thought that he made out with her. She made out with him.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Like their interaction just fucking make it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are our favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Of them all. Favorite character.
Ooh.
You know mine.
Who's yours?
Wash.
Oh yeah, you said that.
I've said it like at least 18 times, I think. It goes Wash, then Mal, and then Jane. Yeah. My least favorite is Anara, and then Simon.
I would probably say it would go Malcolm. I'm trying to think of who's the engineer? Kaylee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Second favorite character, can't remember her name. Kaylee and River.
Yeah. I think I got River as number 4.
Yeah. Because I like Kaylee's interaction with everybody, because she was the only one who was really trying to play Mama Bear and keep everybody together.
Yeah, she was the power of positivity.
Yeah. And she was a brilliant engineer.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah.
I like the... Oh, what was it that was out of gas? Is that the one? Yeah. No. Yeah, I was more like to do all the flashbacks, and they have that one blonde mechanic in there, and he's like, I don't know how to fix this. And, like, she's fucking him, and she's like, oh, this is how you do this. I was like, yeah.
She was great.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, because I follow her on Facebook, and then she had the announcement that she was getting married, and all the comments were like, no. And then I think recently she just had her first child. Good for her.
Good for her.
You lucky son of a bitch. You better never fucking die.
What I also kind of liked about the show, if we're talking about the girls, is like you watched like a lot of other shows at the time, and like if they were trying to portray them as like beautiful women, they had a certain body type.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, and like Firefly, like I guess you could say Anara had like a certain body type, but she did not match like this. Like they were, all 4 of them were very beautiful women.
I think what your point is, like, it would be really easy to put them. It's a show about space, so why don't we put them in like the tightest space outfits possible?
Yeah, and they just give them normal clothes,
like fucking Star Trek: The Next Generation did with their counselor droid. Well, she's a beta Z, and obviously she's got to wear skin tight shit.
Yeah,
obviously.
They prefer to be naked.
Yeah, I mean, and Katie were just like overalls half the time, and River wore really loose, baggy, hanging clothes. I mean, no one. I think even what was Wash's wife? Zoe. Yeah, Zoe. She never even really skinned up. She was always wearing something military or.
The only time you ever saw her in the
I don't want to say even
compromising position, I guess.
Even Nora was like always in dresses and
they were dressed very elegantly.
Yeah, even though I mean, it is a joke in the show that she's just a prostitute or a companion. She always considered herself more of like an escort, if you will.
Yeah, she
was always trying to compliment a man.
What I liked about that was like she gave the ship credibility.
Yeah.
The prostitute makes them reputable.
Yeah.
Oh, what else did I have on here?
Last notes.
Oh, yeah, my last one. I was starting to do stuff about Serenity, and I have Wash's can't say stuff, and like basically the whole last third of that movie.
Can't say stuff.
Well, like without doing spoilers.
Oh,
like the river scene at the very end.
Well, I think we probably shouldn't spoil that.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but like there's that, and then the
The biggest spoiler we could probably possibly give is Wash, the pilot, who was also a genius pilot, had dinosaur toys on his console and would play with them. I don't want to give that away, but that's something that happened in the show. And he would go, roar, 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 roar. You can't defeat me, T-Rex. Roar, roar, roar. Yeah. I just lost the entire audience. They're like gripping on the edge of their seat. Like, this sounds like a smart, funny, intellectual show about.
Why is he roaring right now?
Why does this motherfucker have toys on his console? It was
because
genius.
He was very lighthearted.
Yeah,
like
it was a genius.
He had the best witty
Wife?
comebacks. Well, yeah, I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember like him and Zoe were fighting, so he wanted to go like to have leave or whatever, and she's like, "Well, I gotta talk to the captain." And it was like, it's up to him.
That was the one where they got kidnapped.
Was that the one we got kidnapped? Because it was like,
because he was like, you need to stand up to him. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah, and he's like, well, he's the captain. I'm your husband.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I'll talk to him. Make sure you call him sir. He likes it when you call him sir. What are we talking about? Oh, nothing, sir. And I think that was the reason why he went with him, because originally it was going to be him and Zoe.
He was.
And Walsh was like, no, I'm going to go.
Yeah. And then it turned out he was like,
I should have been God.
Yeah. He turned around completely 180 degrees like, you guys are right. I'm fucking blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to like, no.
You did good. And he's like, no, I totally do not belong out there.
I have my place. I'm not leaving it. Unfortunately, probably should have left it. Given the movie.
Dude, you're making me sad again. Quit it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all the farther I got in notes because I got interrupted by stuff.
Personal matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I think that's a good place to wrap up then. I can't think of anything to add or
without giving anything away, really.
Yeah.
Like, basically just take a weekend out of your time, sit and watch all the way through Firefly. You will not regret it.
Half of you are probably paying for Netflix.
Yeah.
The other half of you are just borrowing the codes from the people that are paying for Netflix.
It's also on Hulu and stuff. Like, it's everywhere.
Fuck, you could probably watch it on YouTube for free if you really want to search for it. I wouldn't recommend it because, one, that's completely illegal, and you're not giving any credit to the people that deserve it because, if you watch it on Netflix, all those people get some money.
Yeah.
And they deserve it. Normally, if it's a shitty movie, I'll probably check it out on fucking YouTube if you can. Find it.
Yeah, I think since I watched Firefly with you, Firefly and Serenity with you, I have watched Serenity at least twice a year since then. Like,
it's one of those you go back to.
Like, there aren't many movies that I'll watch like multiple times in a year. Like, I have like 3, and it's Stardust, The Princess Bride, and Serenity.
Yeah.
Like, there might be like 1 or 2 here and there, like Return of the King.
The list never gets smaller; it only gets bigger.
Yeah.
I like even say like people who wouldn't think they would like a show like that. I mean, give it a shot. I think like in the first couple episodes, if you don't like it, then you probably won't. But I really highly doubt that you wouldn't, because I mean,
even if you go with the mindset like, oh, this is gonna suck, like the characters are so well done and well portrayed.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I would imagine like people probably are turned off like because maybe you don't like sci-fi stuff or you don't like space stuff. That's fair. No, it's not for everybody, but I think if you gave it a chance, you probably would like it because the space stuff isn't really the focus of it.
No,
it's not Star Trek. You're not gonna get lost in technology.
If anything, it's more associated with like a Western.
It is.
Than an actual like space adventure.
And I mean, Westerns even. You could say Western, but I would just say it's just really good characters.
Oh yeah.
In a really good, real written show. Like that's basically the best thing you could possibly say about it. I mean, if you like Castle or even Game of Thrones, yeah. If you like Game of Thrones, or you like. Because, fuck, I doubt you guys even know anything about fucking medieval mythology or anything like that, and you still were watching Game of Thrones, maybe because of the nudity, but you got hooked in for the characters too. There's not going to be any nudity on Serenity, but hell, there's fucking great characters, and you do get to see Nathan Fillion. Get to see his ass once.
Yeah, you do.
That's a nice ass. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
good shit.
He works out.
He's a good looking dude.
Yeah, I mean he's not probably benching cars or anything, but he's he's in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
A couple squats a week, sure.
Ugh.
And it's complete bare ass. So, I mean, I think he was, like, there's a blooper thing where he turned around and everybody's like, "Whoa." So I know he was completely naked on that. He didn't give two shits.
No.
Probably laughed about it.
That dude has no fear.
No shame.
Which makes him one of, like, the best actors.
Yeah. So, yeah, in the end, I would just say, yeah, check it. Give it a chance. Yeah. Check it out. It's a really good show.
I highly doubt you'll be disappointed with it.
Yeah.
If you are...
You can come back and just thumbs down this video.
Yeah.
Sure. Go for that.
If you do, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Big fucking waste of your time, but what else were you going to do with it?
You're only out like 3.5 hours if you give it a legit shot and you make it at least...
Well, God, I'd say if you didn't like it by the second episode, just give up.
Well, I'd say just... If you're going to watch any episode, like if you're going to pick like 2 or 3 episodes, go watch like Out of Gas, then go watch like Our Mrs. Reynolds. And then for the life of me, I cannot remember the one where they're on the rock where they come up with her again. But
on
like
the rock?
Yeah, at the very end where he's standing there naked and stuff.
Well, no, this is like the follow-up to Mrs. Reynolds.
I think it was 2 episodes after that.
It was,
yeah,
but it was like another episode. Of
yeah,
that.
like if you're gonna watch anything, watch those 3. They're probably arguably the best ones.
I think they're all pretty good, honestly. I still stand by my, if you're not into it by the second episode, give it up, because fuck it.
It only gets better.
Yeah.
Like really.
It really does. I think you can get hooked on the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
You can get hooked on the first episode.
Oh, I think you could.
You can get hooked.
I'm giving you a 2 episode. I'm giving you an episode. I'm giving you 1 episode extra to just bail out. But I'm almost confident you're hooked
let's
after
see
that.
what happens next.
Yeah. So
it's worth it.
It is. I don't say I could wish.
No.
All right. Well,
I think this.
Yeah. Wrap up.
Do it for the.
I don't know how long this one went. It might have went a little extra longer. I
apologize
for that. We're talking about a good show.
I don't apologize for that.
Tad doesn't care about your feelings.
I just cut into your time of watching Firefly. I apologize for that. When you're done, when you're done listening to this, go watch Firefly.
I like the subtle gestures that people can't see of Tad's face cringing and shoulders going up and going.
Why we should like videotape this too.
we did do some vlogs. We do that occasionally.
Yeah.
Yep. So tune in next week. Or whenever we post another one. I actually know what the next podcast is going to be about. And it's mostly going to be Tad talking the whole time. Because we're going to be talking about books.
Yay, books! Because Jason hates to read.
No, I'm just bad at it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. We'll get into that next week. So, tune in then.
Alright.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and
go to our Facebook and follow us.
That too.
Do it. One day we'll get a Twitter.
I have a Twitter.
Yeah, you have a Twitter.
But nobody...
I've gone through like 3 Twitters that I don't ever fucking use.
Nobody ever tweets me.